Welcome to the Pest Life on the Pest Geek Podcast. This is a raw, unedited show that gives you a glimpse about the men and women in our industry. From owners and techs to business and family, we got you covered. This is the Pest Life, and I am your host, Nick Madero. Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Pest Life. Today, we're joined by a special guest. We got Gustavo Gus Hernandez. Now, do you want me to call you Gustavo or Gus?
Whichever you want, man.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
I'll just say Gus. It's easier for me. So Gus, you're from H2 Environmental Pest Management in New York, New York. So you guys do a lot of services in New York, mostly? Is that like where your main hub is?
Yeah, our main hub is in Astoria, Queens, New York. We mostly work in Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the 5 boroughs.
There you go. Gus, tell us a little bit about you and your family life.
Been with my wife for 18 years. I have 3 kids, 20 boys that are 8. My daughter is 7. I've been running my business since the age of 16. I'm a second-generation exterminator. I started at the age of 8. My father was the owner of my business. He started it in 1976, and I started at the age of 8, helping out, covering up termite holes, then progressed. When I was 16, my father went blind from diabetes.
Oh, man.
So I was still in high school, so it was either, hang out and party or run a business. So,
right.
I hang out and party on the weekends.
Right.
And,
right, got to get that out of your system, right?
Yeah, and then, ran the business, in high school. When I was in high school, I was sending my workers to work during daytime. As soon as I got out, it was straight, to work all night, get back into school, and, trying to expand as much as possible so my kids don't have to do that.
So you started at 8, just that your dad would take you along and you could just help out on different jobs, termite jobs and other stuff?
Yep. At the age of 8, I would, help out, get the drinks for the guys, close up the termite holes with cement, cork them. Then,
that's awesome.
Progressively, I would always get paid. So,
right.
At 8 years old, you make $40 a day. You fall in love with money.
Right.
All of my friends, they would have to ask their parents for money. They'll get $5. I'll come out with a wad of cash because, I worked all week.
Right, and I'm sure I'm sure that's a good thing your dad taught you is the work ethic, right?
Yeah.
Started you off young.
Started me off young, and I fell in love with the business. And there's nothing else I'd rather do than pest control. The way I think about it is, I don't have to deal with the same person, same client every day. If you go to an office, you got to deal with the same person. Me, I deal with different clients every day. If a client's a pain, hey, you know what? I just lost a client. It's not a problem.
Right.
I gained a stress-free environment.
Right. Now, so you you actually took over the business at 16, right?
Yeah, at 16,
okay.
I believe it was junior year of high school.
That's a lot of responsibility for someone that young. How do you think that's helped you grow as an entrepreneur that you are now?
It gave me the work ethics, to do what I do. Like when my friends were hanging out, chilling, I was out there working, making money. So now,
right.
I would always have a nice car, I always had money, and all my friends, it's sad to say, but mid-sized successful business, and a lot of my friends still living with their parents.
Right.
So it gave me that ethic to, want more, to strive for more, and I've always been like that. Like, even though right now I just bought my house almost 2 years ago, I have a beautiful house. I love it. It's, huge. I want something bigger. My wife thinks I'm crazy.
Right.
But, that's me. I always want bigger. I want more. That's the way I take my business too. I'm making the money. I want more money. Now,
Right.
everybody that works in New York, I'm sorry, I'm going to take some of your clients. Forgive me now, but, that's the way of the business.
Right.
There's enough for everybody, though.
Especially in New York. I mean, there's so many, people there. I mean, there's just enough work for everybody. So do you network with a lot of the other pest control companies there?
Yeah, I network with a whole bunch of other companies. I actually do subcontracting. A lot of exterminators out here, they don't do termites. So they're doing termite work, they subcontract me, and, I make money, they make money, and everybody makes money, and everybody's happy, man.
What is something that you did before the pest industry, but you've pretty much been in the pest industry your whole life?
Yeah, I only had one other job, which was working the U.S. Open for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Other than that, I did the sales in the U.S. Open for 2 weeks. Other than that, I've always been exterminating. And to tell you the truth, this is what I love. I was having a talk with another exterminator, talking about winning the lotto. And he got mad at me because I told him, if I win the lotto, man, my business is I'm gonna explode at spending crazy money, advertising, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And he's like, "You're gonna keep on exterminating?" I'm like, "Hey, man, this is what I love to do, man. In an apartment full of roaches, a basement full of rats, and I'm happy."
Right, man, I get you. The reason I say that is because I tell my wife that all the time. If we ever hit the lotto, all that would do is make me go out, buy new trucks, buy more trucks, hire more people, and make more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just sit there and not just sit there. You want a few $1 million and just take it easy. To me, I think that's one of the things I've been working since I was real young too, cutting grass, delivering newspapers. I just always had that hustle mentality. So for me, I don't think if I came into big money like that, I don't think it's something that I could shut off. It'd be how do I make the next million?
That's the right mentality, man.
Right. It's the entrepreneur mentality. So when you're not doing pest control, which I'm on Facebook and we see and we write each other all the time and stuff. So I know you don't get a lot of downtime, but when you do have some downtime, what is stuff that you like to do?
Spend time with my family, with my kids, my wife. Like I said before, my father started the business in 76. So I learned a lot from him of the things to do and not to do. My father, he came to America from Ecuador. He, busted his behind, worked 3 jobs. And he actually started the pest control business because he worked for a company and he got fired the day before his wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a wedding gift. That's nuts. But you turn those bad things into something positive, and it sounds like that's kind of what he did.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did, and, he worked, 7 days a week. So those are things like I learned to do and not to do. Like, he used to work 7 days a week. And for me as a child, I would work with him on Saturdays and Sundays. But now, that I have kids, I don't work Sundays. For the sole reason, that's my day for my kids and, my wife. I make sure, I dedicate at least one day for them, which I learned from my father because he never did that, which was, it showed that he was a worker, but as a family person, and my brother and my sister weren't as close to my father as I was because they didn't work the business. So they didn't have, a close relationship like I did.
Right.
I want to make sure, I have a close relationship with all 3 of my kids. I take one of them out every month, just me and one of the kids, and we do a father-son day or father-daughter day, and I take them to the movies. So I can have that one-on-one time because my kids are, they're like triplets. The twins are 8, my daughter's 7, so they're always together. I'm always with them, so it's good to have that one-on-one time.
I agree.
Other than that, I like smoking cigars and relaxing. That's it.
Cigars and relaxing.
Yeah.
I don't see you as a person that likes to relax, bro. You're always on the go, man. I get on Facebook sometimes, at midnight my time, which is like 2:00 your time, and I'm sitting there, you're posting, finally finished for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now, to tell you the truth, I don't work every day, but I work 4 to 5 days a week. And when I do, I'm doing 20-hour shifts.
Right.
And for me, before I was working, 24-hour shifts, every day. It was like nonstop. I would sleep 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
But now, because I have the kids, I make sure I get home a little bit. I stay 2 days home. Make sure, I pick them up from school. I drop them off. And
right.
That's my time to relax is me doing that. And actually, what relaxes me a lot is cooking. I love to cook. So that's actually like a stress reliever for me. I go home and I cook for my kids. And I know you see my posts about, the food I cook and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's relaxing for me. I cook with love for my kids. So, they eat good, I eat good. That's mostly it.
That's awesome. When I get up to New York, man, I'm going to have to go play some chess with Vinny and then go eat at your house.
Oh, yeah. You're always welcome, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. So what is one thing that most people don't know about you that you'd like to share on the podcast?
One thing that most people don't know about me?
Yeah, it could be like something personal. Maybe you have, extra arm or, I don't know, extra finger, extra toe. Something, you know what I mean? It don't have to be personal. It could just be an experience or something. Just one thing that a lot of people probably didn't know that they're about to hear first on the Pest Life podcast.
I'm shy.
Nah, come on, Gus.
Yeah, most people won't know it. With you, you're like my brother. We talk all the time.
Right.
I'm not shy like that, but like for me to go into a store or to a management company and just like get in my card and start talking to them.
Right.
I'm very shy. I'm right now. I'm listening to podcasts and YouTube stuff, and so I can get my confidence level up on situations like that. Because if I go into a job, let's say a restaurant calls me, a management company calls me, 9 out of 10 times I get the job. There's no problem. The people love me. I have no problem. I'm not shy because they know I'm coming. But if I just go and knock on somebody's door, I can't do it. I'm very shy.
So it's kind of like a shyness when you first meeting somebody for like the first time or something. But once you get to know them, that you kind of come out of your shell.
Yep.
Okay.
Most people would never think that of me. I'm very outspoken. But
I wouldn't. But I get well. You know what? I guess me and you have talked so many times on the phone. We've had conversations off of Facebook. That's probably why it came as a shock to me.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people are like, you're not shy. You're like the loudest person I know. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I know you, but, if I'm in a situation that I don't know anybody, I'm the quiet one. So I also always, wherever I'm at, I always look around. I'm a little paranoid with, when I go out. But that's because I've had a $15,000 gold chain since I was 18 years old. So I'm always watching, make sure that I don't get robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm pretty much out there. If you know me on Facebook, you know me.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
So what's a good book that you would recommend to anybody starting off a business? Starting off a business,
The TV Guide. No, I'm just kidding. Starting off the business, I like Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read that, and I'm in the middle of reading a book called The Warrior.
Okay.
Wake Up Warrior. I'm halfway through it. It's a very good book. That's mostly it. Those are my 2 favorite books right now.
There you go. What's a favorite quote that you'd like to share?
Favorite quote I like to share would be, you got me on the spot. Hold on. I just told somebody I'm trying to remember the phrase. It was, if you make money doing what you love, then love what you do.
I think that's something that goes for a lot of entrepreneurs is if, a lot of people want to start a business, but they start something that they're not passionate about and that they don't really have a love for, and I think that's what causes a lot of failures in business is if you gotta love what you do.
100%. There's a whole bunch of exterminators that got in this business and the bedbug boom. And,
right.
After a year, they're closed because they just thought, it was good money and that's it. But you gotta love this. You gotta love this business.
Yeah.
If you don't,
that's
if you
not
don't love seeing like 1,000 bed bugs, that's the stuff I love. I love seeing like 1,000 bed bugs.
Right.
Having roaches like fall from the ceiling. It's like playing Call of Duty.
Right. And what cracks me up, man, is I haven't had a German roach job in, probably about 3 months. It's weird because, usually we get a lot of calls, but we've been getting calls for mice and a lot of bed bug work, and scorpions are starting to show up now. But it's like I'm getting the itch, man. I'm getting the itch for a German roach job. You know what I mean? It's like I'm sitting there like, man, I wish we'd get a freaking German roach job because I'd like to go to town on it, but
my
just gotta sit and wait.
No, my technicians call me when like they go into a place and it's like heavily infested. They call me, yo, Gus, you're gonna want to come do this job.
Yeah.
And if I'm available to go do it, my guys are like, oh, I love it. I don't need to do nothing. The boss is here.
Yeah.
Because those are the type of jobs. I hate doing maintenance jobs. I send my technicians to do that when they're when they have no problem, when there's no we're doing the regular maintenance. I send my technicians to do that because for me it's boring. I'd rather do 1,000 roaches, having rats run all over your mice, thinking like a mouse, where to set the traps, where they're coming from. I love that aspect of the.
That's something I love too. I enjoy solving problems. I was on a.
That's what it is.
I
like
was on
puzzle.
I went to a job today, and these people had some mice, a lot of mice activity. I guess they tried using another company a few months ago, and it just seems like they never got rid of the problem. So when I went in there, it's like you're looking for. It's like playing a game. You know what I mean? I was sitting there looking for entry points, and I found 3 entry points, one in the garage, one on the AC lines that go into the house, and then one on an electrical line that went into the house. I looked at them. You sit there, saw some droppings on one of the entry points, saw some hair stuck to the stucco, and it's like, boom, got it. You know what I mean? It's like it's challenging. I like doing stuff like that. Problem solving is like one of the highlights of that I like in this industry.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then the reaction from the client.
Right. Yeah, the lady was kind of shocked when I found and pinpointed all the entry points. She's like, no, they never even went outside. All they did was put some glue boards down. Nuts how people do things. Crazy. So as far as pests, what is your one pest that you enjoy killing?
Termites.
Termites.
I love it because that's how I started in the business. Doing termite jobs with my father. So my father passed away 7 years ago. So it brings me back to, when I was a kid with my father, and just seeing them, how they destroy houses is like, it's beautiful.
Right.
How they make their mud tunnels, how they go through stuff, how they destroy stuff. It's a work of art. And I love going in there.
It is a work of art, man. It's funny. I save scrap wood when I find it in crawl spaces or find pieces of wood outside that have termite damage. I actually save them. I got a whole freaking tote full of little pieces of wood and firewood and different things where I just scrape all the mud off, hit them on the concrete, and then stick them in my box. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing, but I like it's like whenever I go to a new start, first thing I do is want to do an inspection on the outside and make sure that they don't have anything else going on.
Yeah, you see how a little insect does so much damage. It's crazy. That's why termites are. I love termites.
Now, as far as pest control, how old are you now?
I'm now 35.
So you've been doing this for almost 20 years.
Yep.
Dang. So you're a veteran, bro.
Yeah, young veteran.
Yeah, you're a young veteran. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. Now, what is your hopes for the future with your company? Is it safe to say that you'd want your kids to take over if they choose to go that route?
Yeah. I mean, if they choose to go this route, I would love it. I always tell my kids I don't teach my kids to go to school per se. I tell them, they have to go to school. They got to do good. But, you know, I always tell them, you know, you're going to school to become an entrepreneur, you know, to sign people's checks, not to get your check signed.
Right.
So that's my mentality, you know. As a lot of people, they say, you know, go to college, you get, you know, a degree, and you go get a good job. I don't tell that to my kids. I tell my kids, you know, you go to college so you could start a business, so you can become an entrepreneur, so you could sign people's checks, not get your check signed by, you know, by somebody.
That's a good thing to instill that in them when they're so young, you know, so they get it embedded in their head that they could do and, you know, whatever they want to do, you know, and work hard. And I think you're doing the right thing teaching. You and your wife are doing the right thing teaching them that.
Thank you.
So I got an important question I ask everybody. Well, some of these questions I've asked in the last one, but this is an important one, even though a lot of people will disagree. Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Oh, my gosh, dude, really? I swear, I've interviewed about 3 or 4 people, and every answer I gotten so far has been iPhone. I guess I'm the only one still in the industry with an Android.
I tell you the truth, I don't know how to work an Android, man. It's like, you know, to take one picture, you got to open up like 6 apps, and you got to check, you know, you got to pick where you're going to save it. You know, it's too much. I'm like, yo, listen, I want to open up one app, my camera, bam, take a picture, and that's it. You know, I mean, I've seen Androids, you know, they look nice, but
right.
I'm an iPhone type of guy. Right now, I got the iPhone 7 Plus. I'm gonna upgrade in March to the X.
Yeah, that's the one my wife has, the X. And all my kids have iPhones. I'm the only one with Android. Still the only one with Android.
Yeah, you know, my sister's the same way. My sister's the only one out of the family that has Android. And, you know, she hates Apple. And not that I hate Android, I just can't figure it out, man. I like, you know, the simple one button, that's it. You know, now the X doesn't have a button.
That's the thing with me is I have the Android, and my wife always gives me her phone to try to figure out, man, and I just can't figure out, like, the back button. It's so easy on an Android, you just push one button. On an iPhone, you got to sit there and scroll and push this. And to me, I guess if I used it enough and I got to learn it, then maybe I'd love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Believe me, you would.
So what's one piece of advice you would give anybody that's getting ready to start in the pest control industry? One piece of advice that you'd give them.
Know your value.
That's a good one.
There's a lot of people out there, you know, like somebody just posted up somebody on Let Go that he had $7 for an apartment for cockroaches and $15 for a house. Like I don't know what, you know, I don't know what the hell you're doing for that price.
Right.
You know, but it's $7 and $15. And you know what? I tell you the truth, I've seen it before. Like I've had restaurants call me and, you know, tell me, hey, you know, can you beat my price right now? And first thing I say is I'm not in the business of beating prices.
Right.
You know, I have to go and give you an estimate. And, you know, I had one guy tell me, hey, listen, I pay $17 for the service. And then when the guy comes, he sells me a gallon of chemicals for $25. And I tell him, listen, you're paying $25 for a gallon of chemicals and $17 for a service. Don't you see something wrong with that?
Right.
Like, for that total amount, I'm not getting up from my bed. Like, it costs me more money to turn on my car than what I'm going to make at your place of business. And but there's people that are out there, you know, doing bodegas for $25, for $20.
Right.
You know, and it's bringing the industry down because, you know, you're supposed to have a standard. Like, you know, I'm not the most expensive guy, but I'm not the cheapest guy. I make sure that, you know, I make enough money that I can pay my checks, pay all my bills, and I pocket it a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna become a millionaire off of one client, but I'm not gonna lose money off of one either.
Right. No, that's a good piece of advice. I've seen companies in other parts of the country where I'll see a picture of a yard sign that looks like somebody spray painted that has, you know, monthly pest control, $19.99. And I'm thinking, like, for $19.99, I won't even pee on your front door. You know what I mean? I hate to be like that. I just, like, to me, it's like even if you got, you know, 5 houses on one street, that's $100. It's gonna take you, you know, say 20 minutes each, so about an hour and a half or 2 hours to do those houses, when I could sit there and go charge somebody $100 a quarterly service, and I can sit there and make $100 and spend about the same amount of time.
But let me tell you something, Nick. That $19 a month, right? What a lot of people do is they put it for that cheap, but that's for quarterly services. So you're paying $19 a month, $20 a month, right? But you're getting quarterly services. So that means the quarterly service is $60.
Right.
But you're paying monthly $20.
Yeah.
So,
even at that price, though, man, that's like
that's
nothing.
Cheap.
Yeah, that's like nothing. We still got companies. We still got a few companies around here, guys that have been in business a while, still doing quarterly service for anywhere between like 40 and 65, $70. It's hard to compete with those, but a lot of times we'll get a call, well, we were using this company and they were, this price. Well, I'm like double. And they'll give us a shot, and then after that one shot, they're like, you did this, and the other guy only did this. And I'm like, you get what you pay for, You get what you pay for.
Totally agree. I actually went to an inspection 2 weeks ago, right? And in Manhattan, around Rockefeller Center, and the guy tells me, while I'm there, there's actually another company there doing the inspection as well.
Right.
And listen, we're in New York. I'm not scared of competition. There's hundreds of, companies out here.
Right.
The other guy was pissed off at me. He was pissed off at the situation that I was there as well. I was like, hey, listen, may the best man, get the job. So I was actually, checking out the other guy, seeing what he's doing while he's doing his inspection. And the whole time, there was two of them. They were on the phone, looking through the phone, like the guys walking us around. I'm actually, looking behind stuff, commenting stuff. And these, this guy from this other company is, on his phone the whole time. I don't know if he was on Facebook, maybe, posting something up. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but, when you're at work, especially at an inspection, you give your client the undivided attention.
Right.
But, the point was, I told the guy, I'm like, listen, it's going to cost you X amount for the first, for the initial, and then they're having a mouse problem. So then I told them, I want to do it bi-weekly for the first 2-3 months, and then we can do it monthly.
Right.
And when I gave him the price, he said, wow, you're more expensive than I said, I am? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you know what? After you hire me, you won't be looking for another exterminator. You won't be having the problem. So he looked at me, and, I was confident because, again, like I told you, if somebody calls me, I go in there and I'm confident. I'm shy if I just walk in there. And he said, all right, no problem. He went in there. I left. I wish the other guys, luck. I get a phone call 3 days later. I got the job. And
awesome.
I was the highest bidder.
That's awesome.
But he told me, he's like, can you work on the price? And I told him no. He's like, you were the highest bidder. I'm like, I know I was. Wait, you're going to be happy with me. Now I'm going to resolve your problem. And you're going to have a smile on your face. And what sold him a lot was my pest control program. I explained to him, our program times us in when we get in there, times us out. We take pictures. They get emailed to you, everything like that. So he actually liked that program so much that and my, confidence, if I told him, that I'm going to get rid of his problem, was what landed me the job.
That's awesome. A lot of times that's what it takes, is just for someone to go in there with confidence and explain protocols and the way you're going to do things. It's one thing to tell a person, well, this is the price. We're going to get rid of your mice. This is the price. And that's it. It's like the last thing I do is give them the price. The first thing I do is sit there and explain our protocols, how we're going to do things, what can they expect, our result, different things about the service that they're going to be paying for. And then I give them the price. So they sit there and they, it lets them soak everything that I'm telling them in their head, so they know, well, this guy's not just going to come out and put some traps. He's going to go around do an inspection, tell me if there's anything that needs to be sealed. He's going to do bait stations. He's going to put snap traps out. Everything that I plan on doing, I explain that to them. And even if they have questions, I explain it again. And I think that's one thing that a lot of companies don't do is they just go in there and they just want to do quick in and out, think that they're going to get the job based on their company name. And then different companies come in with confidence and kind of explaining everything to them. And they wind up going because they just feel a little more comfortable and there's a little more detail in the presentation.
Yep, I totally agree with you, man. And once you get, a client's trust, like, I know a lot of old timers in the game, and
right.
Like my father's best friend, he's been in the game for as long as my father, and he was the old, Hispanic guy, he cared about, getting that money right there, and that's it. And I told him, listen, if you do right by these clients, you don't have to charge crazy amount. You get them, their sister, their best friend, their neighbor, their parents. I'm like, he's like, screw it. I gotta get my money and I'm out.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, last year in January 2017, he had one phone call the whole month.
Wow. In
February, he had 2 phone calls. In July of 2017, he closed down. Wow. After 30-something years in the business. And I told him, you had to stop that. Like, your name gets out there. You have no repeat clients.
Right.
Because you're charging, he was a good salesperson. I can give him that. Like, he could sell, and he'll get the big money. But he was doing a cheap job.
Right.
And so if you're paying, $400 for a roach clean out and you still have roaches, you're not calling that exterminator back.
Right. And word travels fast.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, it's one thing to charge a lot for your services, but actually do a great job, be thorough, and make those customers feel like you solved their problems and actually solved the problems and got results, than it is to sell them, a high price, but then kind of half-ass the job and the work.
Totally agree. I could give you an example. I had a restaurant that a contractor recommended me because he went to go do some work in their backyard, and he was too scared to do the work because there were so many rats. This restaurant was super clean in the inside, but the outside was heavily infested with rats. It was in Lower Manhattan, and the lady actually had 2 different exterminators going there weekly. One will go Tuesday, the other one will go Thursday.
Jeez.
2 different companies, and I'm talking about when I went to do an inspection, I seen about like 45 rats.
Wow.
So I gave her the price. I gave her a price of, I believe it was like $2,500, and that was for a week worth of service.
Right.
There was 3 services during the week. It was going to be I was going to go Friday, Monday, and I told her, I'm not going to kill all of them, but we're going to take down, a high count right away within that first week.
Right.
And then, you're going to see a way bigger result. So she looked at me with the price, and my contractor told her, listen, agree with him. If you don't like his service, if you don't like, the job, the results, take it out my pay.
Right.
So after the week, we picked up about, I think it was 74 rats.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That lady was so happy. She gave me like the biggest kiss on my cheek, and she paid me that $2,500. Plus, she gave me a $500 tip.
It's awesome.
And mind you, she had 2 exterminators going there weekly.
Right.
And they couldn't do nothing.
It's all about knowing the pest problems in your area and getting to know the pest. That's why I tell a lot of people the first thing in pest control, the number 1 rule is identity. Identify. I'm sorry, identity. I don't know where that came from, but identify. You get calls, I think I got fleas, and then you get over there doing inspection, they got bed bugs.
It's two different things.
Yep.
Or you get a call for bed bugs, and then you go over there and you got fleas. Or, people, I got flying ants everywhere inside my house. Okay, well, let's go do an inspection. Oh, sorry, man, you got termites. But if someone actually didn't take the time and actually investigate to find out and identify the pest properly, you don't know. You just be spraying anything to kill anything, and it's not going to do anything.
You got to find the source of the problem.
Right.
A lot of people, what they do is for, drain flies, they'll just spray, put Gentle inside your tank, and that's it. So if you're not, cleaning drain and treating drains, what are you actually doing? You're just killing the flies that you see. You're not getting rid of the problems.
Right. I agree 100%.
So I pick up a lot of restaurants and bars for drain flies because that's what we do. We specialize in the drain flies.
Right.
And I actually put it into the program now that I'm charging all my clients more now, and every 3 months we're just treating the drains.
Right.
Because it's not worth the headache. Every 3 months, bam, we put into the program that we treat your drains, we have no drain problems.
Right. Smart. You always want to catch those things like that before they become a problem.
Yep.
All right, Gus. So my last thing is, how can people reach and get in contact with you? What's your phone number for your company, H2 Environmental Pest Management?
Our phone number is 347-642-8921. We service all of New York, Long Island, Nassau, Suffolk County.
And what's a good website?
The website is www.h2pest.com, and we're located in Astoria, Queens. We have our main office there on Astoria Boulevard, 3207 Astoria Boulevard. Astoria, New York, 11102.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to say thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you taking the time to... No problem at all. I just appreciate you taking the time to get on here and share a little bit about you, your company, and your background, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Pest Life on the Pest Geek Podcast. Special thank you, as always, to Mr. Frank Hernandez for allowing me to do this show and have fun with it. To my wife, Angela, for always supporting and believing in me. Also to my 4 kids, Alexis, Alyssa, Nikki, and Nicholas, for all your love and support. Until next time, this is Nick Madero signing out.